So MK fans finally got what they asked for in the form of a new Kombat Pack that includes Rain, Mileena, and Rambo. We also got the announcement of an Ultimate Edition of the video game. But with the release of Kombat Pack 2 and the Ultimate Edition, does that really mean that Mortal Kombat 11 is done? Let's go over some theories on what that could mean for potential DLC and possibly a Kombat Pack 3. Before that, guys, make sure to hit that like button because liking these videos lets me know that you love them. And make sure you're smashing that subscribe notification bell so you don't miss any videos just like this one. Let's get to the video. So Kombat Pack 2 finally added Rain and Mileena along with Rambo to Mortal Kombat 11. While it's exciting to see these new characters be added to Mortal Kombat 11, how exactly do they fit into the MK11 story? Here are the current battles for the new characters and where we last saw them. Let's start off with Rain. According to his wiki, in the MKX story mode, Rain served as Mileena's advisor and tried to help her reclaim the Outworld throne from the warlord Kotal Khan in the midst of a civil war. Rain planned to take the throne for himself when the war was over but was stopped by D'Vorah. He's featured in Tanya's non-canonical arcade ending in which he and Tanya flee Kotal Khan's forces in Outworld but are captured. She turns him over to Khan in exchange for clemency, resulting in Rain being burned at the stake. According to his MK11 bio, it says, growing up an orphan, Rain joined Adenia's army. His strategic genius earned him quick promotion, which he used to learn he was the bastard son of the god Argus, Adenia's protector. Armed with the knowledge that he's half god, Rain battles for his place in Adenia's pantheon. Next up is Mileena. When we last saw Mileena in MKX, she became Empress of Outworld after Shao Kahn's death. Mileena is overthrown by Kotal Khan after Reptile reveals her origins, and with her followers either killed or siding with Kotal Khan. Refusing to accept defeat, Mileena resolves to reclaim the throne with the power of possessing Shinnok's amulet. Allying herself with Rain, Tanya, and Kano, Mileena launches an unsuccessful surprise attack on Kotal Khan in Outworld and is captured. She uses the amulet to protect herself from execution, but is overcome by its power before being rescued and taken away by Rain. She is later tracked down by Cassie Cage, who worked with D'Vorah in apprehending Mileena again and recovers the amulet. Mileena fights D'Vorah but is defeated and she is brought back to Kotal Khan. He orders Mileena to be executed by D'Vorah, who subjects her to flesh-eating parasites through mouth-to-mouth transmission. According to her Mortal Kombat 11 bio, it says, Mileena is the product of Shang Tsung's diabolical cloning experiments, a perfect blend of Takartan ferocity and athletic grace. Brought forward in the timeline by Chronica, Mileena has learned of her tragic future. Her enemies now must submit or die. I was probably most excited to see Mileena come back because that means, oh man, Mileena's going to finally get her revenge on D'Vorah, and I can't wait to see the intros and cutscenes that go along with it. And lastly, we have Rambo. Now I'm going to give you a recap of Rambo from the 80s, since the Rambo we're getting in MK11 is clearly based off the 80s version of the character. So when we last saw Rambo, it was in 1988's Rambo 3. In the movie, which is set during the Soviet-Afghan War, Rambo sets out on a dangerous journey in Afghanistan in order to rescue his former military commander and his longtime best friend, Colonel Trotman, from the hands of an extremely powerful and ruthless Soviet army colonel, who is bent on killing both Trotman and Rambo, as he helps lead the Soviet armed forces and their mission to conquer Afghanistan. According to his MK11 bio, John J. Rambo, a former United States Special Forces soldier deeply haunted by his time in Vietnam, is rough and aggressive and is well known for entering exceptionally dangerous situations alone. Rambo has reactivated his ruthless fighting skills to infiltrate the MK universe. So now that we have these new characters in Mortal Kombat 11, what exactly could be left in store for us to still get as possible DLC for the game? Well, user at the Thinny summarized some of these things that have been much discussed for the last few months that didn't quite make it into Thursday's big announcement. Let's start off with stuff that involves the crypt. 2 more areas in the crypt, one involving the Living Forest, has a teleport machine, and one is simply called an R. There are other non-playable characters that don't have a name present, so he's guessing that it's probably Smoke in the crypt. Let's talk about the towers. The towers probably have more gauntlet levels for every character and for the non-playable characters. There's also possible Test Your Might for Towers 1 and 2, and a Test Your Strike tower. Let's talk about the modes. Other modes that can be added to the game include Test Your Luck, Test Your Might, and Test Your Sight, which would replace the Test Your Strike. And let's not forget that we still have possible 5 more DLC characters that could still be added to the game. Some possible guesses that Athenny have come up with is Takeda and Striker, Sector and Cyrax, Havoc, and maybe a possible Reptile. And he also thinks that maybe we could get some Mortal Kombat movie skins also added to the game. So because all these things have been previously identified in past leaks and past data mines, is it possible we could still get those in Mortal Kombat 11? That's the question that needs to be answered. Still looking to the clues, user at the Thinny also recently verified that the final structure of the MK roster will consist of 42 total characters. In his tweet he said, "The roster is still 42 characters, I just checked. MK11 uses Flash Scaleform graphic effects to create the character select screen. This is how the final roster should end up looking like." He then proceeded to show a flash preview of the code and the various stages of the roster leading up to the final 42 character roster. Given this theory, that would mean we have 8 additional slots left to fill for the potential game. We now know that 3 of those characters are Rain, Rambo, Mileena. Based on his theory, that would mean we have 5 DLC characters left. From a list I compiled in a previous video of the final 8 characters we could expect, based on fan favorites, Ed Boon's clues, etc., I said that the new DLC would include Rain, Rambo, and Mileena, and that would leave Smoke, Reptile, Natara, Cobra, and Nash Williams. Twitter user @MVHolly made an updated roster with the Kombat Pack 2 characters already added to it. You can see from this updated roster that we do have extra room for 5 more characters. So let me know in the comments what you think if we could actually get 5 more characters and who you'd want to see fill those spots. So the big question, are we actually done with MK11 with the Ultimate Edition? Given all these features and characters that are still left on the table, could we get more DLC for MK11? Or is Kombat Pack 2 the end of MK11? With the Ultimate Edition of MK11 being released, it would seem like this is the end. The definition of Ultimate is, and as quoted from definition.com, the last, furthest or farthest, ending a process or series. That should say it all right there, but as a user pointed out on Reddit, the Injustice 2 series had an Ultimate Edition that was later followed up with the Legendary Edition. So it's still possible that we could have more DLC come to Mortal Kombat 11 and lead up to another version of the game. I think would possibly happen closer to the game's 2-year anniversary, which I've talked about in previous videos, in April 2021. I also have 3 reasons to think that we could still get more DLC despite it being the Ultimate Edition. My first reason is with Mileena being added to the Kombat Pack 2, and fans wanting her all this time, and that means more MK fans will buy Kombat Pack 2, and that's more money in NetherRealm's pocket. And as we all know, more money can mean more content. My second reason is with the PS5 and Xbox Series X and S being released this fall, and MK11 being released on those new consoles, and current MK11 owners being able to upgrade over for free. That would also mean that NetherRealm Studios and WB Games would want gamers to get more hours of gameplay out of those games, which could lead to more DLC. And my third and final reason is that with the Mortal Kombat movie set to be released in January 2021, now of course, assuming that the Rona doesn't make it get pushed back, but nonetheless, it is more likely coming in 2021, and if I was Warner Brothers and I wanted to attract more people to go watch my movie or purchase or stream my movie if it ends up going PVOD or HBO Max, I would make a movie skin pack that could be for the characters that are going to be in the game that are also going to be in the movie. So we have movie tie-ins. That's a great way to gather up a good fan base for current players to go watch the movie and vice versa. So based on everything I talked about, I would say that we still have a lot more to do in MK11. Now I know that with us having Mileena here and Rain, and I guess for those that are holding out for Rambo, I don't know a whole lot of y'all that were holding out for Rambo, but for those that were holding out, a lot of y'all are satisfied with what we got and possibly could just be done with MK11 after this. But I really think that there's more story to be told, and I don't know that we're really fully set up for MK12. Maybe we are. I could be wrong. Let me know in the comments what you think about the thoughts I've come up with. What do you think about the theories set by various users on Twitter and the influencers, and what do you think you would want to see out of potential DLC for Mortal Kombat 11? I want to hear you below. That's it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button. If you want to see more videos like this one, make sure you smash that notification bell. And I'll see you guys next time on the Mashup.